we're not, there's no justification for us. We have made so many mistakes, so many wrongs, so many sins, so many offenses. Nonetheless, because they are so loving, so kind, so sweet, so adorable, they will forget all offenses with just one drop of our selfless affection, our ardent dedication, which is the definition of devotion. I mentioned that last night. So, selfless affection, meaning I offer my heart to you, I offer my body to you, I offer my mind to you, I offer my entire consciousness to you. I offer it, and I ask for nothing more than what? Then allow me to serve you. And it doesn't matter what kind of service you give me. As long as I am serving you, I can be a king on a throne if that's where you want me to be, or I can be a janitor cleaning the toilets if that's where you want me to be. It doesn't matter where you want me to be, as long as I am lovingly serving you, and that's important. Do not let me serve you without love in my heart, because if I serve you without love, then it's just mechanical, robotic service. We want to serve with our whole heart and our mind and our body and our soul. And if we serve the Lord in that way, as Krishna says, engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances. Worship me. This way you will come to me. Surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace in the supreme and eternal abode. So Krishna says, surrender unto me, and I will take you to into my embrace. I will guide you. I will direct you. I will make certain that your life becomes sublime. Yes, there will be difficulties along the way, but that is for your purification. If I don't give you any difficulties, you may forget me. But in difficulty, in trial, in tribulation, in problems, what happens? You go to this doctor or this dentist, and he gives you some serum or gives you some pills. It doesn't work. And then you go to this chiropractor or osteopath, and he tries, and that doesn't work. And after 6 months or 6 years of trying this, that, and the other thing, you're still fixed with this terrible disorder or disease. So then, and you're feeling pain, maybe in your back or your shoulder or your neck or your eye. And you say, I've tried everything, Krishna. I've forgotten you so many times. I've ignored you. I've deviated from you. And this was wrong. And now I throw myself at your lotus feet and take your ankles, put my head on your feet, and beg for your mercy. Nobody can help me but you. You are in charge of this body. You have made it. You have somehow disturbed it. You have somehow hurt it, so for no other reason that I can cry out to you, I can look up to you, I can beg you, so that again our romance, our relationship, our togetherness may be reinforced once more. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he talks so much on that, in that plane. If you have all read the book called Sharanagati, how many of you are acquainted with Sharanagati? It is one of the most beautiful poems of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's all in this mood. He keeps saying, I forgot you. He's talking as an old person. I'm going to die soon. And so many times I forgot you. He's actually never forgotten. But he's talking as if, like ourselves, just as I'm talking about like this person I have described. I forgot you. I ignored you. I thought I could do it by myself. I could achieve everything just on my own endeavor and on my own will. And what a fool I was, because look at me, I have this terrible disorder, and I thought by my money, by my influence, by my power, by my friends, I could get over this, but still, look at me. I'm still in a very depressed state. So please, my Lord, I beg some help. Please help me. And tears are flowing down his eyes. He hasn't cried for the Lord in who knows how many years. But now he's crying and begging and urging for some help, some assistance. And then Krishna does a miracle, not immediately. Otherwise he gets too puffed up. A few days go by, a few weeks go by, and he's thinking, oh, I'm too fallen, I'm too offensive, I'm too worthless, I'm too useless, I'm mindless, I'm graceless, I have nothing, I don't even deserve to be helped. I'm sorry, Krishna, I know you would if I hadn't committed so many wrongs and offenses. I take full responsibility. Let it be at that. Boom, miracle. Suddenly, the pain is gone. I know many people who have had just this situation. One of them is myself. So this is situation, and then his faith is restored that Krishna does listen. Krishna does hear. And he waits for the opportune moment to give us what we really need in order to become again a devotee. So at that point, the person with his money, whatever he has, he takes thousands, hundreds of thousands of his dollars that he's had stored in the bank, which he was hoping to build some big house for himself, and he takes it to the temple and he says, this belongs to Krishna. Finally he realizes this money was never his. It always belonged to Krishna. Krishna gave it to him. He hoarded it. He kept it selfishly and wanted to do something for his senses, for his mind, his body. But instead now he knows, no, let it be for Krishna's senses. Let it be for the expansion of Krishna's words, Krishna's deeds, Krishna's devotees. Let them all prosper spiritually. So he gives this money, and then the temple gets built. Like we're going to be a new temple soon here. Mataji was just telling me the property is there and it's only a matter of time. This is the way it happens, due to a sincere, deep, loving heart. My Mataji, I mean Mother Primadatri, and her good husband. They're working very hard, tirelessly, driving how many miles? 60 miles, is it? From how many? 40 miles? Yeah, back and forth, sometimes 3 times in a day. So much gasoline, but they're not concerned. The job for Krishna has to be done. Very few people will make such a sacrifice. Oh, it's too long. Oh, it's too tiresome. Oh, I didn't get enough sleep, and so many complaints and so many excuses. So we should all really applaud them for their selfless dedication. Sometimes they stay in the background very humbly, make a few announcements, but really they're great souls, and I'm very obliged to both of them for inviting me here and giving me the opportunity to share this with you. So for this moment, we give a big Hari Bol for Radhamadava? Yes. Srimati Primadatri and Sriman Radhamadava Ki. Yeah. I'm so thankful, really, for them, and I'm so, because they're doing it just the way Prabhupada would have wanted it to be done. And I know this new temple will come up, and people will come from all over, not only this state, but from many states, because already it's becoming prominent, and I'm publicizing it even in Los Angeles. I tell them I have a wonderful experience here. I wanted to ask you, I'm a little breaking from the talk for a moment, but this altar, it looks like gold. Is it real gold? No. What is it made out of, the canopy?
Composite metal.
What is that?
It's composite.
Composite metal. It looks like gold, yes. And it's so beautiful because gold is befitting for such great personalities. Anyway, thank you, Prabhus, for at least coming and hearing what you could. Hare Krishna. Wonderful to see my god brothers and sisters. So, continuing on in this interesting purport, I was trying to get this point, which was made in the that. Give me a moment. The Lord indicates that even trees who are dedicated to the welfare of others are superior to Brahmins who are not. So we have a problem here, a situation in which the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna, they expressed that they were hungry. So there was nothing to eat, but Krishna knew very nearby there were some Brahmins there, and there were some wives of Brahmins, and these wives of the Brahmins were very devoted to him, much more so than the Brahmins. Because, I'm sorry, someone can get me a little water there. I'm sorry. So the wives were very dedicated, very devoted, very much surrendered to Krishna. So Krishna said to his boyfriends, he says, will you go there to the Brahmins? Oh, that'd be fine. Yeah, that's fine. Good. So I said, you go there and beg some food from the Brahmins. And they were performing a ceremony as pious activities so that they could go to the heavenly planets. So when the cowherd, first of all, in the purport it is mentioned, we already got some, thank you. But you can bring a second just in case we finish that.
Yes.
I don't think I will, but that's okay. You can just put it down. Thank you so much. So anyway, they went to the Brahmins, and now the purport mentions that the cowherd boyfriends, the friends of Krishna, which I just mentioned their names, that they weren't really thirsty. They were thinking that maybe Krishna is thirsty. So out of love and sympathy and understanding, they would say they're thirsty, so that Krishna would then tell them where to get water, so that they could bring water and they could bring some food. They were also saying hungry. They could bring some food for Krishna. This is just see, these are little cowherd boys, they're no more than 6, 7 years old. And they're thinking of, although Krishna has not expressed hunger, he's never really hungry, he only eats to eat the love that you have offered in the food. He doesn't need any food. But he loves your love. And that's what he thrives on. And the more intense, the more pure, the more surrendered that love is in the offering, in the preparation, the tastier it is to Krishna. That's what he loves. The taste is your love. And the more you love him, the more you have affection, the more you have appreciation, the more you have devotion, dedication to Krishna. While you are preparing, while you are cooking, when Krishna is tasting this, he is in ecstasy. And if it is done without love, he just looks at it. He doesn't even taste it. He doesn't want it. He doesn't need your food. He needs only your love. So always keep it, this is for Krishna, and that's all he wants is my love, not the food. Then if I'm going to offer him this, then if I don't put any love in it, he's not going to take it. That's what prasadam, he takes it and he tastes it, so it is now spiritualized. And being totally spiritualized, it is no longer material food, it is spiritual food, and now when we taste it, we are partaking of Krishna, his transcendental vibration. Everything must be done with care and attention. So anyway, what happens is the boys, they go there, and they ask the Brahmins, please, could you give some food for Krishna and Balaram? They're waiting just nearby. So the Brahmins said, don't bother us, we're doing our rituals. Krishna and Balaram, they're the greatest. No, don't bother us, don't bother us. So they went back to Krishna and said, they didn't want to give us anything. So then Krishna said, okay, you go to the wives, they're just in the background there, and you tell them, and you will have a different result. So the wild women tend to be more soft-hearted and more compassionate. But these were not ordinary women who have ordinary compassion. They were devotees of Krishna. So they went back and they went to the Matajis and they said, oh, Mataji, Krishna and Balaram, they are hungry and they need some prasadam. They said, oh, prasadam, we'll prepare a nice feast for them. So they got all the ingredients together and they put this, that, and the other thing together. They put it on a tray. And usually the wives stay near the Brahmins who are doing their sacrifice. They're putting grains in the fire and putting this in the fire and so forth. So what happened is that the wives, they went over with these trays of food. So the husband said, where are you going? They said, we're going to Krishna. No, you have to stay here. Then, no, we're going to Krishna. Going to Krishna, I order you. You stay here. No, we don't stay here. Krishna is going to be served, whether you like it or not. Well, that is actually a very egregious offense. A Hindu woman talking that way to her husband. But these women knew that their real husband was Krishna. They had enough sense to understand that, and that their material husband was being offensive to the Supreme Lord. And a woman has to obey her husband when he offends the deity. Actually, she can reject him on that basis. And we have so many incidents in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where, if I can remember, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law, Amoga, he made an offense against Lord Chaitanya when Lord Chaitanya was invited for a big feast. And so he was always offensive, and he looked in, and they said, oh, the sannyasi, look how much food he eats. He eats just so much. He's supposed to eat just a little. Sannyasi means deprived. Sannyasi means renunciation. Terrible. Sarvabhauma heard this. He went after him with a stick. He wanted to beat him. So Amoga was younger, of course, and he has escaped. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, this son-in-law, I renounce him immediately, and my daughter Sati, she will no longer be with him. There's no such thing as divorce in Hindu life, but separation is proper, because separation means that the husband or the wife, she can be redeemed on the basis of apology, on the basis of contrition, on the basis of remorse for what one has done, and then one can, of course, come back into the fold. So, in that sense, that he had committed a very egregious offense, very outstanding offense. And similarly, in the I got onto this. Where was I before? Just a few moments to illustrate this point. Does anybody remember? The point?
The Brahmins.
Pardon?
The wives they were carrying the food.
Oh yeah, but thank you. Yeah, that's what happens. You go into tangents and you get lost. So anyway, so the women, they didn't care what their husbands thought. They didn't care if they didn't even have a house to come back to live in. So anyway, they brought this feast, and Krishna was pleased, Balaram was pleased, all the cowherd boyfriends were pleased. So then, after they finished the feast, of course the Matajis were so happy to watch Krishna and Balaram and the friends enjoying this.